Now, I know many of you are so stuck on other classes in Diablo 4 that it would be very hard to convince you to play the Druid, even first. So I compiled my top 10 reasons why you should play the Druid. I know that many of you are going to play all the classes eventually or prioritize first and then go to others, but if the Druid is maybe at your last place or really not ranked high, I think you should. So let's take a look at my top 10 reasons why you should play the Druid even first. The first one is the Shapeshifting mechanic, which is incredible. Not just it looks great, it's really fun during gameplay. It also creates synergies with the shape-shifting mechanics that allows you to focus on prolonging a specific shape or shape into something else to trigger some kind of synergy and buffs. So for example, every 6 hit guaranteed critical strike and at least 60% increased damage. This is insane for a single one. But again, you need to be in Werewolf, right? And if you stay in Werewolf for 2.5 seconds, you get 20% attack speed for 15 seconds, alright? And even more, as you can see, and there are other synergies that can further increase it, so you're gonna deal lots of free damage and very high damage, which with some of the other classes might take you several slots and skills in order to execute it, maybe some aspects in order to achieve this. So when you play the Druid class, if you pay attention to those synergies, it can be very, very powerful. Now, many mentioned that the Druid has a lot of very strong defensive skill, and this is indeed the truth. The thing is something that is maybe too defensive, but keep in mind, there are going to be certain situations where you're going to pray to have those strong defensive skills. Because Diablo 4 challenges be a balance between you managing your elemental defensive capabilities and your offensive capabilities. And as your defensive efficiency decreases, this is very good to have this as a core base, which allows you, by the way, to also, instead of dashing a lot or trying to escape damage, really stare enemies into the face. And because you're not going to move a lot because you have very strong defensive capabilities, in most part, you're going to deal more damage because you less spend time trying to ditch and dash and trying to get out of trouble, and more time actually dealing damage up close. And I did check it out against enemies level 10s levels above me, as you can see here, and I was level 20, enemies were level 30, and very strong, by the way, did lots of damage, and I was able to come up with a build that allows you to be both close. I need you to get a bit here and there, but the build allows me to really kind of fight against strong enemies that can easily take a big chunk of my health and do well in terms of keeping my distance when I need it, be able to attack up close when I want to, and get the buffs that I need, and finish enemies very fast with it. And you can see that the damage is pretty crazy. Look at the chunk of damage I'm going to get here. It's just crazy because they are 10 levels above me. But still, with that, I was able to survive well and do damage both up close. But of course, I need to manage myself. Here I'm rushing and taking a big chunk of the enemy's health while being in Werewolf. And this is level 20 and the enemies were level 30. And this is one of the strongest enemy in that area. Now, next one, I know it won't speak for all of you, but there are some of you, of course, that know that, you know, the Druid is a very prominent character. And when you get skins or everything, you know, compared to the other ones that are smaller and less beefy, you're going to see those skins really shine for the skin. It's going to be much bigger compared to other ones. And although when you shift, you won't see it. But again, when the Druid is in its natural human form, you're going to see that it's pretty dominant on the screen because it's a big 3D model. And I remember that from previous Diablo games where I felt like, oh, I'm getting like really new cool looking skin, but I can't even see it myself because the character 3D models were so small. So even though I got something really nice, I couldn't really be impressed by it even myself. So of course on the other characters also going to be beautiful skin, but they look really nice in images. But when you look at when you play, it's not that impressive. But with the Druid, it's going to be amazing. By the way, same goes to the Barbarian as well. Now, among all the classes that I play, and again, those are available in the beta, who knows what's going to come next, the Druid just felt more fun to play among all the other ones. I mean, the animation, the beautiful animation when you shapeshift, the abilities, by the way, themselves really make you feel kind of really strong and beefy, and you control the battlefield. You can really see yourself impacting and not being really small and need to dash around like the rogue. Which is really, you feel like you're really strong beast, which you are, of course, in the game. So in some way, I felt like I'm playing the, you know, the Incredible Hawk. I just felt powerful. Same, by the way, was with the Barbarian, but because the shifting and the, you know, the big looking 3D model of the Druid, it just felt very, very powerful. And this is why I really enjoy engaging in combat and doing all those things. It just was fun, a fun class to play. I don't know about you, but having something with me while I play, especially if I play alone at times, pet summoning, the ability to summon pets. Now this has many advantages. First of all, it doesn't the game feel less intimidating when you have your pets near you. They can tank. They have other great synergies which you can use, of course. They deal damage, of course. So you have those ones to really kind of help you, not just with the synergies that you have, but also to adapt to different type of situations. But otherwise, you need to find ways to just deal it yourself. And it really helped me when I was sharing you the previous gameplay when I was underpowered. They really helped me to be able to complete this area while it was 10 levels less, because I have the wolves with me. And of course, you can further adjust that using specialization. Or in the case of the druid, again, the boons. Basically, druids get their spirit animal boons, which are passive buffs that can be unlocked by giving these creatures the essence of the dead. And upon reaching the level 15, the druid will gain access to a priority quest that leads them to Skull's Glen. There you're gonna encounter 4 spirit animals. And what you do then, you're gonna turn those essences that drop from enemies into spirit animals. Now basically they're gonna be those 4 animals, each one will provide you with 4 different buffs, so in total we're gonna have 6 different buffs to choose from. But remember that only one buff you'll be able to keep only one buff for each animal at a time. And after you unlock all the boons for each animal, you'll be able to choose a 5th buff. And that 5th buff can come from any animal. Keep in mind that information was from the QA stream in March 2023, so things are subject to change. Keep this in mind. Now, of course, Diablo 4 is more fun to play with friends, and having a class in the team that can really eliminate a large group of enemies fast is a big advantage, even if you play on your own. Because as you know, if you play, of course, the beta, you know that when it comes to difficulty, you're going to be lots of enemies attacking you, different variations sometimes. And when you're able to control all this, it's a big advantage. And the druid have lots of AOE capability that enables it to really kind of stun enemies and increase the crit and deal damage, of course. So if you combine those together with all those AOE, really eliminate those bunch of enemies very, very fast. So to give you an example, look at here, I have plenty of AOE abilities. Basically allows me to put enemies in place and continue dealing lots of AOE damage. By the time they even get close to me, or not possible to get close to me, they're always dead or getting a lot of damage. So the druid is really strong when it comes to AOE capabilities. That allows you really to control the battle when you have tons of enemies rushing at you. Another cool thing about the druid is if you enjoy both range casting and melee, and you want to enjoy it in a single character, the druid has it both. You could do both range casting and attack melee, and by the way, all of them felt very strong. I personally really like the Lightning Storm. It is a channel casting. You channel it, you hold it, and just gonna go and do lighting all over the place and eating enemies. It was really, really fun to play with. And again, strong AoE because if you keep its size, it's gonna be pretty large, eating enemies. And if you get another additional one as a perk, it's just gonna melt. And aside from that, it just looks incredible on the screen. Now, as you know, the Druid was one of the classes that got one of the most significant buffs in the Server Slam. It was pretty unimpressive early on, but got a huge buff, and I felt it. It was so much stronger. And we can expect, by the way, the Druid to get even better from what it is now, because it was underwhelming. And I think the numbers that Blizzard has actually proved that, many players just didn't enjoy playing with him because it was underwhelming, and they actually changed it in the Server Slam, gave him big buff, but expect it to get even better down the road. And I even remember, by the way, that wolf damage was pretty low and unimpressive. And again, it just put everything up, and it just felt incredible. And I do think that Blizzard will work further to enhance it, so it will be in line with the other classes in terms of its damage capabilities, at least when it comes to damage capabilities. And of course, this can be done by maybe having some aspect that further improve and give buffs to the companions. I have this feeling that it's going to be pretty good balance when the game is out. So even now, at certain points where the Druid felt a bit, lacking, it's kind of close the gap compared to the other classes. So you can enjoy all this without having like a disadvantage and feeling that the Druid is just not good enough. It's already there, but just a bit more, it will be perfect. The next thing is regarding sound effects that really make you feel powerful. Listen.
I'm not ready yet.
So being able, to just hear it roar when you transform, we just activate the skill, just make you feel so powerful and fun. And this really affects the fun of the entire combat gameplay experience.
I'm not ready yet.
So this is something just I couldn't ignore. It just made me enjoy activating a skill more than other classes. It just felt so good. And all of this, by the way, lead to just the druid feeling very, very versatile. When you go melee, you have AoEs. With all this transformation and the micromanaging with the transformation, I was able to deal with so many situations so much better compared to other classes, especially when I tried to get some challenges were much, much higher than my current level. And of course, this is because of the wide array of both melee and range attacks. You can transform into a werebear for kind of wild, powerful attacks that damage multiple enemies, or werewolf form for rapid attacks, ideal for single targets like allies and bosses. And of course, let's not forget all the crazy AoE that you have that can really help when you are kind of overwhelmed by many enemies. Now, before we summarize it, on a final note, I'm going to add something as a bonus, alright? And I'm going to summarize everything. So we also need to take into consideration that the druid has the highest willpower among all the other classes as a starting stats. This gives you the extra bonus healing per point and overpower damage per point. Alright, it's significant. And overpower deal bonus damage based on the sum of your current life and fortify. So basically you are actually working to fortify yourself, you also increasing the damage that you deal as well. So this kind of balance things when it comes to, alright, going to be very durable, deal less damage. So this kind of balance things out. And if you consider all the different things that can actually increase your overpower damage, so you can really kind of enjoy being both fortified and dealing lots of damage as well, if you focus of course on making those synergies happen, which you should. So as you can see, the druid has lots of things going on for it. So if you're not convinced by now that the druid isn't really worthwhile playing, I don't know what to say. So it just ticks all the right things, and I also tested it against higher level enemies, so it feels strong, it feels very durable, AoE, good also against allies and bosses. You feel like you control the battlefield, beautiful animations, sound effects. It just feels absolutely terrific to play with the druid. So this is it for this video. I hope you find this one useful and enlightening and exciting, and also maybe convince you to finally play the druid instead of the other classes. Let me know in the comment section below if it did convince you, and if not, which class you prefer playing over the druid. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cheers, and consider subscribing. Maybe more content is coming. See you soon. Cheers.